My name is Jim Brown, and this is my son,
Jacob Brown.
and we're from western Iowa, little town of Chardan. We are Brown Family Farms. We farm about 2,500 acres, and we've got a few pigs and a few cattle. Yeah, we're probably 75% corn, 25% soybeans, and then enough alfalfa to take care of the livestock.
Always spray twice each year, pre-plant, and then when they get tall enough, spray it before it grows together and kill all the weeds.
Jacob's, we're trying to work him into the farming at this point. His grandpa's retiring, so he's going 50-50 with his grandpa while he's also going to school. So this is an opportunity for him to invest something into the farm, and also give him a little opportunity to make some money while he's trying to pay for his education.
When I bought the machine, I use it to spray ours and then make some money on the side, do some custom spraying. We got about 1,500 acres of custom spraying, and then about 2,500 acres. And spray that twice, so about 5,000 acres.
So I've been farming for 25 years, and I guess that's how I got started, was with the sprayer, and so maybe it's been all of that, 25 years. Time flies when you're having fun. We did have an old Haggie that was self-propelled gas with the front booms and 6 control levers, and that was a very uncomfortable sprayer just because of the age of the thing. But yeah, and you were busy constantly moving hydraulics around trying to keep the boom out of the dirt here and there. So the automatic part of this one is certainly nice. Well, we're doing some no-till on the beans. So we were running duals on the tractors, and a lot less rubber on the ground, so a lot less crop damage. Plus, we were putting a lot of extra hours on a tractor that maybe didn't necessarily need to be there. It wasn't hard hours, but it was just hours. And that way it frees up a tractor for something else in the spring. We can be spraying and planting corn and drilling soybeans all at the same time if we need to. When you're spraying with the tractor, you're running over more crop, especially if you have any land that's on a contour and you're pulling the sprayer behind you. And it's a rougher in the tractor cab, at least the tractors that we were using. I can get it all done with the pull type as well, at least I have been, but this is certainly a lot nicer, and it's a smooth ride, and we can get more done in a day. I think I did most of the shopping for this thing because Jacob was at school. So, and we looked at everything. In fact, we thought we wanted to use John Deere when we started, but they're pretty proud of their stuff, even their used stuff. And this one we could get new for about the same price as a used John Deere, and this one had a warranty on it. We actually got a phone call saying they were putting on a sprayer clinic at Brokaw, and wanted to know if we were interested, and I said, as a matter of fact, we were shopping for a sprayer, so we were very interested, and I had seen Apache sprayers before. This area in Iowa, I guess there isn't many of them around, so I think people are a little bit scared of them, but I'd seen them here and there, and I thought this probably could be just the ticket that we needed for our operation. This thing has got a pretty good stroke and handles some pretty good bumps, and it just glides over the top of them. Jumping into this one and jumping out at the end of the day, you still got a smile on your face. I want to push him out of the sprayer so I can spray for it for a while, but he is actually the one paying the bills on it, so I better let him use it. It really goes. We're fortunate to have a lot of our farm ground relatively close to home, so there's no really water tendering. It's just we can go back to the farm and fill up and take off again and continue where you left off. We put a lot of value into electronics and all that auto steer and all that technology. So this one has got the auto boom that shuts on and off when you outline the field. It's got the auto height sensing, so it adjusts the height going through the field. Plus it's got the auto steer because we no-till the beans. So we're going to be running over crop anyway. So it's got all those technologies on it now. There's not a whole lot extra available at this point, maybe just at a higher degree of accuracy. The package we'd be looking for again in 5 years, unless there's something that I don't know about yet. And that's very possible because things change so fast.
In this field that we're in right now, there's a lot of waterways, but you just go around those once and then it shuts off automatically. You just gotta slow down going through the waterways. We have a few fields with some terraces, but really no big hills or anything to go over.
The savings that you get with all the add-ons and technology, of course, ease of use and whether you're wore out at the end of the day has got some value to it. I've used foam markers in the past and I absolutely hate them, especially on the pull type sprayers, because they're out there bouncing around all over the place and the foam's going within 3, 4, 5 foot. And 2 years ago when anhydrous was $1,000 a ton on an 18 knife bar on corn, if you overlap 30 inches, you were costing you $5.19 an acre. And on 2,000 acres, that's $10,000 that pays for the system right there. So I think these things pay for themselves and the technology pays for themselves a lot quicker than you realize. We went to the field day at Brokaw Supply and they did a little price comparison, and the co-op charges about $650 an acre. With the acres that we have and the cost of the machine and even depreciated out and paying the driver and figuring out what the machine would still be worth after five years of use, that we could spray our crops for about $2.32 an acre. It's pretty easy to pay for this machine over 5 to 10 years when you're covering, well, even our 2,500 acres times 2 and a little bit of custom work. It doesn't take long. And there's value in the savings dollar-wise, but there's also a value in time when you can do it yourself and you're not waiting in line on the next guy. When it's fit and its crops say it's ready and the weather says it's ready, you go out and you get it done and you can do it.
It handles great on the roads. It goes about 36 to 38 miles an hour down the road, so it travels right down the road. And then the furthest field, it's about 7 miles. Then we do have one that's
16 or 18 miles, and that one will tender to, but those ones that are 5, 6 miles away, you can just about drive back as fast as you can haul water up there.
Well, it takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours to spray off the tank. It takes 5 minutes to get home, 10 minutes to fill, and then 5 minutes back, so 20 minutes, 20, 25 minutes. We've been spraying 10 gallons an acre, so you can get 100 acres done. Learning how to run it, my dad learned how to run it first, and I just jumped in with him for about a tank, and we basically learned how to do that. We got a quick guide manual in there, so if I have a question, most of the time I flip through that and I can find the answer to that. It's really easy to run, fairly simple.
Nothing like hands-on experience. When you read the book and go through that, you can probably intimidate you quite a bit. But once you get out in it, and like Jacob said, you run a tank through it and spray 80 acres, and it's like, oh, yeah, this isn't near so complicated. It's all right there. It's pretty self-explanatory. If you're not afraid to push a few buttons and look around in there, you can usually figure it out.
My grandpa says he's climbed up in there and looked at some of the GPS stuff in there, and he's like, I don't even want to begin to try to learn this. I'm glad I don't have to run this. But me, I climb up there and poked a couple buttons, flipped through the book a little bit, read that, and poked some buttons, and I figured out and watched my dad use it a little bit, and I had it figured out in no time at all.
Just to take a walk around the machine and look at how simple it is. You get around some of those other brands of sprayers and start looking around at all the hoses that run in and out of those things. It can get kind of pretty complicated. This is right out in the open. You can get at everything. I don't think that there's too much on this machine that we probably couldn't fix, short of the electronic side. All the hydraulic hoses and everything else you can get right at. You can get right around and get after it. The hydrostatic stuff scares me on some of the other machines with the cost of them breaking down. You can get $2,500 to $6,000 in a one single hydrostatic wheel. And if you don't do it right, you can throw chunks into another one and tear it up. So, so far we haven't had any issues, had to even work on it or even touch on this thing. So, but most things are nuts and bolts. I'm sure that we could get at it and figure it out. It's got crop clearance as high as we need to go at this point. We're not spraying tasseled corn. we want to spray it before it's 3 foot high, and even though this year we didn't get it all done by then, I guarantee you that we wouldn't be done spraying corn if we still had our pull type. We had 3.5 days, I think, to spray in June this year, and we got it done. So that saved us money from the co-op, because we'd had to call somebody else in to do it if we couldn't, because there'd have been no way we'd have got it all done. It's a solid machine, but this one's new and it's our first year. I hope I can say that same thing in 5 years from now, but at this point I don't see why not. It's a strong machine. I could wrap it up and say it's simple physics, and yet it does everything that all the other brands do, and it costs a lot less up front.